So, Dr. Oren, I tried my best to tell people to vote for Andrew Cuomo, my audience in New York. And Curtis Lewa, not quite a spoiler because Mr. Mamdani got a majority. You know New York. You were at the UN as Israel's ambassador there. This is a nightmare for New York, and it's bad for the country. What's your reaction?
Well, it's interesting. I listened to your previous clip, Hugh. You were talking about the Soviet grocery stores that were empty.
Yep.
I don't know if you know this, but I was sent by the state of Israel a long, long time ago to work in underground in the Soviet Union.
No.
Arrested every day, interrogated by the KGB. It's a long story. But I used to go to those grocery stores. I used to stand in the freezing cold for hours and hours to get in and go into grocery stores that were completely empty. And it was a very profound image that you evoked by saying that, because I know exactly what you're talking about, those empty grocery stores. I remember paying $6, $6 for one cucumber. I was that hungry. And that's what communism is. That's what socialism is. But I think, for an Israeli, from a former New Yorker and a Jew, Mamdani's election is not about empty grocery stores. It's not about the rental economy in New York that's going to collapse, or the free bus rides that are not going to happen. It's about not just the normalization of anti-Semitism, but the popularization of anti-Semitism. He was elected not despite his horrendous positions on Israel, but because of them. And that is the watershed issue here. That it's now in the mainstream. And understand this. People say, he'll say, oh, I stand up against anti-Semitism. I'm going to fight anti-Semitism. You cannot fight anti-Semitism at the same time saying that the world's largest population of Jews in the world should be wiped off the map. And should be wiped off the map by ways of a global intifada, which means killing us, literally killing me, killing my family, killing my neighbors, killing my entire community. That's what it means. And by the way, that's not a dog whistle. That is a clarion call to anti-Semites, and you're going to see it very, very fast.
I agree with everything you said. I said it again and again and again. He is the real deal. He's an anti-Semite. It's at the core of his identity. But I don't know what anyone can do about it except suffer through it. And I expect there to be flight from New York City. And I would think twice if I'm Netanyahu before I come to the United Nations again, because this guy could do anything. What do you think he will?
No, I don't think he can. I think that the prime minister was rejected by federal law, by international law. He can't arrest anybody coming into New York, certainly a foreign leader. By the way, he's not saying he's going to arrest Putin. He's not going to arrest Xi, who has put 1 million Muslims into concentration camps. He won't arrest the leaders of North Korea or Iran. That, by definition, is anti-Semitism. He will only arrest one leader in the world, and that's the democratically elected leader of the only Jewish state in the world. Tell me that's not anti-Semitic. By definition, he can't do that, but he can do a lot of other things. For example, I'm very privileged now to be the ambassador for the Technion. That's Israel's MIT
Yes.
in Haifa. And Technion has a campus with Cornell University in New York City. And Mamdani has said that he will defund that campus. He'll defund that campus. He can... next year there's going to be a salute to Israel parade. Tens and tens of thousands of people come out to that parade. Is he going to defend that parade? If that parade is met by violent protesters, pro-Hamas demonstrators, is he going to defend that parade? Before we get to the point of arresting Netanyahu, there are many catastrophic things that can happen as a result of his election.
Well, yeah, in a very practical sense, you need permits to open businesses. And if you want to open a business that is obviously Jewish, I don't know that the city staff in charge of that are not going to be discriminating in subtle ways, as was the case with racists during the post-Jim Crow era in the South. There were still ways to discriminate. I guess you have to legally arm up. Is that the one thing that American Jews can do, is identify their best legal defense group and fund it?
Certainly, and they just also may have to defend themselves. I'm friendly with a group of New York Jews who have studied Krav Maga, that's Israeli karate, and they volunteer to help defend and protect pro-Israel events throughout New York City. But it's not so much that a Jewish store would open, but what if a store would open that was going to sell Israeli art? Would that get permit? And there are many, many areas where this administration in New York can cause immense harm.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.